So you ever just been sitting there and let one rip? I'm talking a nasty one. One where you smell it yourself and it stings your nostrils. You're like, whoa. And the family are gathered around and you're like, someone's going to smell this stinker. Well, don't worry. Something else stunk the place out, and that is PlayStation's State of Play. The PlayStation State of Play stunk the place out. I'm going to tell you why. So, they've done a PlayStation State of Play showing us what games to be excited for this summer. What's going to get me shaking up and down in my seat, punching my fist in the air with excitement, going, woo! Well, it's not this event. It stunk. They started with Concord. Now, this is a first person PvP game. Some people like that stuff, some people don't. Me personally, I'm not a fan. I mean, it looks pretty cool. And don't get me wrong, some people will definitely have an interest and some people will definitely be playing this, but not for me. So, a mild start, a bit somber. So, it's not exactly the big boom you want it to the show, but it's something. It's something you can consume very easily. So, as we move on, you've got the God of War Ragnarok on PC. Now, I played God of War Ragnarok. There's actually a whole playthrough on my channel. I loved that game. The first game was perfection, masterclass, great start. Story was enthralling. It was something you couldn't stop playing. The narrative just kept pushing you on, pushing you on. So we come to God of War Ragnarok. That was amazing. I loved it. I'll be honest, and this might be a bit controversial. I didn't like the climax. Now, I'm not going to spoil it for anyone, but the climax wasn't as great as I thought, especially the fact that it didn't involve the giants I really wanted to see. I thought that would have been something that would have been shown. I thought it was going to be like God of War 3. It was going to be the Titans against the Olympians. It was going to be the Giants versus the Aesir. We didn't get that. You got Ballad of Antara, which again, not my cup of tea, but it's a fantasy action game that I'm sure a lot of people will have an interest in. Great, brilliant. You gotta have variety out there. I'm not gonna like every game, and someone else other than me might not like the games I like. Fair enough. Variety is the spice of life, as they say. So let's move on. Let's keep this trickling down. Let's go like I've got diarrhea and it's going down the inside of my thigh. So we come to Behemoth. Uh, I mean, Behemoth it looks cool. Don't get me wrong about that, but it's a VR game. I don't have virtual reality, especially PlayStation. I've fumbled around with VR before. I've fumbled around with VR on mobiles, and it's pretty cool. Some of the stuff you can do, like you're on the top of a skyscraper and it's breaking down. You're in a room and there's some scary kid around the room. He keeps popping up, and you're like, "What the hell? Where's he coming? Where's he going from?" You crap yourself. It's brilliant. But I've never done it with PlayStation's VR. Now, so I like the idea of VR, especially at PlayStation. I used to work within a VR sector, and it was amazing the stuff that I saw. So to see PlayStation doing this, it's interesting, but it's a small percentage of the crowd this is aimed at because not everyone has got PS VR 2. It's not exactly cheap either. Again, variety for everyone, and the VR fans, they're going to be appeased. So good. Alien Rogue Incursion is another VR game. Now, this looks pretty cool. I mean, I'm a fan of Alien, I'm a fan of Predator, and if I had a VR headset, I'd probably take a closer look at this and be like, hey, this could be for me. So, again, it's a horror game. You're going to have the suspense, the intensity. People will love this. So, good. I'm glad that people are getting some more support on VR, and there's a variety of games on VR. As we move on, Marvel Rivals. Now, this trailer was actually really cool. I actually really like the look of it. I used to play games like Marvel Alliance, and really enjoy playing that. And I'm a sucker for Marvel games. I've got Spider-Man, Spider-Man 2, Spider-Man Miles Morales. I love those games. I mean, even Wolverine that's going to be coming out probably in the next year or two looks pretty cool, and I'll definitely be buying that. So Marvel's Rivals, it's kind of like a game where everyone's fighting each other as third person. You've got all these different superheroes fighting each other with different abilities. It's a real cool concept. And to be honest, from the trailer, it definitely piqued my curiosity. So this is something I'll probably keep an eye on in future because it's actually pretty cool. I didn't expect to see something like this, and I enjoyed it. So now we come to Where Winds Meet. This is So now we come to Where Winds Meet. This is set in ancient China, and it's a martial arts action game. And I looked at the trailer; it's pretty cool. Don't get me wrong. Again, not my cup of tea, but I can see where it will definitely be garnering a fan base. It looks pretty good. The graphics, the martial arts in it look very fluid. It looks like a great game, but just not my cup of tea. So again, nothing huge so far in this showcase, just bits and pieces. And now we come on to where the anger boils up inside me. This is where the blood boils red. This is where the hairs stand on the back of my neck. And the reason why I am so furious, it's a remake nobody asked for, Until Dawn. Now, don't get me wrong, it's going to be on PC, which is great, but for PlayStation fans, it come out on the PS4. Its graphics were amazing for its time. So the jump in graphical fidelity is not going to be that much better than it was. So why remake it? It's like The Last of Us Part 2 remake or something like that. It's like, why do you need a remake of a game? Those graphics are so good already, you can't really do much. If you're remaking a game from PS2, PS3, you'll see the jump, the graphical jump. You'll see it and you'll be like, whoa, this looks amazing. Like Mafia, for instance, that remake was incredible. I don't think Until Dawn was anything that anyone was asking for. It's a great game. The choices you make in this game craft your story, it sculpts your story into different decisions you make will have a different pathway you go down. So there's a lot of replayability with this game. Very cool. But it's not something anyone asked for. Until Dawn remake is just a waste of time, waste of studio time. It's just a waste of time. Nobody asked for it. So that's why I'm really upset with this remake. It's pointless, absolutely pointless. And when I looked at it, I was just like, all right, PlayStation, fed up with that one. Move on. Just what's next? What's next? Now, this is the polar opposite of Until Dawn. This is a remake that everyone wanted, Silent Hill 2. It's an amazing horror game, amazing atmosphere. It's very intense. It's a game that's going to scare you. If you turn the lights off and you put headphones in and you pump that volume up, you're going to shit yourself. Oh, yeah. Yeah. It's one of those games where you're going to be sitting there thinking, do I need to flick the light on? Getting a bit uneasy. And that's brilliant. That's atmospheric. And that's brilliant. Great game. So, Silent Hill 2, the trailer looks amazing. You can see the graphical jump, evidently. So, that was worth it. That was a game where I look at it and I'm like, you know what? That's a horror masterpiece. It deserves it. So, that's a solid hit for me. I'm like, PlayStation, that's what I want to see more of. So, let's move on to the next game. So, now we come to Monster Hunter Wilds. Now, this piqued my curiosity. Character design's great. The creature and enemy design is amazing. This is what I was looking for when I looked at the trailer. I was like, wow, this looks incredible. So, yeah, this is something I'll definitely keep my eye on, and this is something that PlayStation should definitely have in its state of play. But again, it's not Ghost of Tsushima 2, it's not The Last of Us Part 3, it's not something where you're sitting there going, oh my gosh, this is actually coming out. This is in development right now. This is what it looks like. I'm going to sit there and piss on my pants of excitement. You're not getting that from this at the moment. So, a very mild PlayStation state of play. And now we come to the end. Astrobot. Astrobot was something that come with every PS5. It was a default game that you get with the PS5 to show you how the controller works and all the new features, all the new bells and whistles that comes with the PS5. Great. I mean, it was amazing. I actually dipped my toe in that pool and I was like, oh, okay, it's actually pretty nice. Enjoy that. Astrobot is now a sequel to that. Now, a lot of people are excited. It has got a fan base, and it's going to be using all the features from the PS5, from its controller to the 3D audio. It's going to be incredible, and it will be something that a lot of people enjoy. For me, again, not exactly pumped with excitement, not exactly, throwing my fist in the air, jumping for joy, but it's something that you could definitely play around with and have some fun. So now, when you come to that, you're sitting there thinking, okay, is there anything more? No, that was the end. And that is why the PlayStation State of Play stunk the place out. Stunk out. Just, it might as well have come in the room, took a big shit on the floor, let it fester for a while, and then welcomed you in because that's what it was. It was awful. I'm very disappointed. So you look at my predictions video, I was looking for some bangers. I was predicting some that were going to stop the world turning. Everyone was going to sit there and look at their screens, look at their mobiles, look at the laptop, and be like, that's coming out. Take my money. Take my money. Get out my wallet and I'll throw it at the screen now. That's what people were waiting for, and nobody got that. There will be some people that said it was solid. There will be no one jumping for joy saying it was a success. And for the majority, it was just flat. There was nothing to jump about. There was nothing to cheer for. And it's disappointing from PlayStation, to be honest. So as a PS5 owner, I don't see what I'm excited for this year. There's nothing to be pumped for. So disappointing. I'll be having to rely on third-party games to keep me going through this year. Hopefully, PlayStation come back with something later in the year, getting us excited for next year's releases. So that concludes this video, people. Just something I thought I'd share my thoughts on. I know you got the Summer Games Fest coming pretty soon, so that'll be interesting to see if Xbox or Nintendo make a big ripple in that pool. But for now, that's it from PlayStation State of Play. Disappointing, people. So until next time, drop those likes if you enjoyed. Drop those comments because I want to hear your thoughts on this State of Play. And subscribe because there's going to be content flowing frequently. So, people, until next time, if you see a goat, tickle its tail. I'll see you next time. Peace.